Hey, in this video I'll show you how you can give conditional formatting to your Power BI visuals. This is great if you want to showcase goal completion, change on data, or to compare different data. You learn to give this formatting to data labels and the visual elements of your charts themselves. Here are some timestamps in case you want to skip to specific parts of the video, and let's go! So here I have a Power BI with some sales data, and we have a sales column and a goal column. Also, I already created 3 different visuals for us to make some examples. For our first example, we have a column chart that gives us the sales for each of our subcategories in the dataset. And we have a fixed goal line with a goal of $200,000. Here we want our columns that surpassed our goal to be green and the ones that didn't make it to be red. To do that, with our visual selected, we'll go to the Format Your Visual option in the Visualizations pane, and we'll look for the Columns menu. Here we can change the color of all our columns, but in this case, we'll click on this function icon. In here, we can format our columns in one of 3 ways. The first one is using a gradient, so we can input a value, in this case sales, and tell Power BI to change the color from lower to higher depending on the colors we input right here. The second one, and the one we're going to use, it's based on rules. And the third one is based on the field value. This one is a little bit more advanced. It uses DAX to input to Power BI exactly the hex color we want to use. Okay, let's format it by rules. And the first thing we have to input to Power BI is what field do we want to base this on. And we want to base it on our sales column. And as you can see, we have a goal of $200,000. So let's input to Power BI that if our value is between 0, let's change this to number, and 200,000, we want the column to be red because we didn't make it to our sales goal. Let's add a new rule. If our value is bigger or equal to 200,000, let's change this number again, and it's less than, I don't know, let's put some really big number here, 10 billion, we want our columns to be green. Okay, that's a nice hue, and I'll click on OK. There we go. As you can see, all the columns that surpassed the $200,000 mark are green, and the ones that didn't are in red. For our second case, we have a line chart that gives us the sales value for each quarter. Here we want the data labels to change color depending on if we manage to achieve our goal or not. But here, instead of using a fixed goal, we're gonna base our data color on this field right here called goal. To do this, I've created this measure that checks if the sum of our goal is bigger than the sum of our sales. It means that we didn't achieve our goal, so it outputs a 0. But if we achieved our goal, it outputs a 1. Now, just as before, let's go to the Format Your Visual option, and let's look for the Data Labels menu. Here we'll select the Values submenu, and again we'll click on the function icon. And the cool thing on Power BI is that you can use fields that aren't on your visual to evaluate the conditional formatting. So here I'll look for my goal completion measure, and let's see. If the value is equal to 1, it means that we achieved our goal. So let's put this in green. Great. And a new rule, if the value is equal to 0, it means we didn't. So let's put this in red. We'll click on OK. And there we go. We've already changed the color of our data labels. Actually, let me bold this for it to be a little bit more clear. Okay, and wow, we only missed our goal in the first quarter. That's great. And for our last exercise, I have a table that gives us for each state a column with our sales goal and our current sales. Here we want to do two things. The first one is to change the color of our sales column depending on how high is the value of our sales. The second thing we want to do is to add another column that returns a little icon that changes depending on whether we completed our goal or not. Because this table, we can go directly to our fields. And let's look for our sum of sales. If we click on this drop-down menu, there is an option for conditional formatting. And we want to change our font color. This time we'll use the gradient option. And we'll use our sum of sales, and we'll just say that we want our values to be a light gray, the lowest it is, and we want it to be a dark blue, the higher it is. So I'll click on OK. There we go. As you can see, we've got our values change color depending on the size of our sales. For the second part of our exercise, we want to add a new column that gives us the icons I told you about. To do this, we'll use the goal completion measure again. Let's drag it to our fields. Here we have a 1 or a 0 depending on whether we completed our sales goal. Come here again and look for the conditional formatting option. But instead of using font color, we'll use the icons option. Okay, that's great. And we'll use goal completion. For our rules, if you remember, a 1 means, let's change this to number, that we made it. So let's change this to a little check. A 0 means that we didn't achieve our goal. So a red X would be great. And we can select if we want to conserve the data or we only want the icon. In this case, I think the icon would look better alone. I'll click on it and let's go to OK. And great, there we have it. So I hope you learned how to make conditional formatting in Power BI. As you can see, it's really simple and you can make awesome visuals with it. Now, if you got value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And here's another one in case you want to keep leveling up your digital skills. That's that. Have a great one. Bye.